And welcome back, folks, to another lesson in JavaScript. We're going to talk a little bit today about some of the syntax or the rules of how JavaScript is written. So yeah, so far we've done like window.alert, which is kind of cool. It's like, hey, look, I can make little messages pop up on my screen. But right now we've only done like something in window.alert. Let's say I want to instead use other things, which are called statements. These are program instructions, and of course we always end those with semicolons. Right now we have one, which is window.alert. But there are 5 different things that can compose JavaScript statements, which are values, operators, so that's like addition, multiplication, that sort of thing, expressions, keywords, and comments. So the 2 values that we have in JavaScript are literals and constants. A literal is simply just a number or a string variable. Now note, key thing to know is that a numeric literal can either be a decimal or a whole number, whereas a string is contained with single or double quotes and can be characters. So let me just put some literals in here. I'm going to do 10. Let's do like 2.5. I'll do quote many things, and then I'm going to just say with a single quote, many more things. Now each of these again are constant values. Now you of course can also do variables. So I'm just going to come down here and say var x, and var is of course short for variable, and x is the value. And you can say like x equals 3. So all those are the different types of things that you can do. Now of course, if you'll notice, I can kind of shorthand this, and I'm always in favor of making things simpler. So instead of writing var x and then x equals 3, because I already know the value of x, I can just shorten that to var x equals 3, if I know it's going to start like that. So it's the same thing as what we just had, but it's a lot easier to write. Now if we want to do things like addition, subtraction, and all that stuff, we can do that fairly easily. Now before I get to doing that though, if I want to output any of these things that I've shown so far. So for example, I want to output one of the constants, I just put 10. If I want to output many more strings, I would put that in there with the quotes around it. So I'd have to put like many more things. But again, these constants that are up here aren't really being used for anything. So I'm just going to kind of delete those out there, because if I want to just print those constants out with this window.alert statement, I would just put them in there. But if I wanted to do the variable of x, I don't put 3, I would put x, because x is the variable. Now, let me just quickly show you how that would work. So I'm going to go back to our web page here, and we should see 3 come out, and there it is. So let's do some operations here to kind of see how these different things would work. So I have in here already var x equals 3, so let me just add some stuff in here. Let's say I do like x times 10, because that's an operation. So if I do this one, that should take whatever the value of x is and multiply it by 10. Right? And you can see if I put a semicolon there, it throws an error, because you actually don't need a semicolon when you're just changing the value like that. And it's because also it has to do with, you have to do like x equals x times 10 to really kind of store that value someplace. So x equals that value of x times 10. So if I refresh that now, you see I get 30. You can do the same thing with constants. You can say x equals 5 times 10. And you would get 50. You can change strings to, as well. You could have a string, say like, if you wanted to put like a space in here, I could do like John plus quote space quote plus quote Doe. Right, and that would print out John Doe. I mean, you could have technically accomplished the same thing without the space in here, but if you wanted to combine multiple strings, this is how you would do it. Because if I don't put this here, if I just had John plus Doe, let me just show you how this looks here. So if I do it this way, I didn't apparently save that. Right, so I should get John Doe. But if I take this out of here and just have John Doe, you see that the space is out there and the words get smushed together. Now, one last thing to talk about here is commenting in JavaScript. And how we do that is /star and //. So that is how we can do block comments and also anything after a //. So here's some examples. So let's say I want to comment out this line right here. I can just do // and I'll comment that out. And then we should just get the value of x equals 3. That's about really all that we really need to know right now for just kind of an introduction with using variables and strings and all that other stuff. We'll get a little bit more into some of the stuff here in the upcoming lessons. You'll probably think like, do we have to? Like, yes, because this fundamental stuff that we're doing is going to lay the groundwork for stuff that we're going to do later on. All right, folks, until next time.